All right, so we're going to continue on with the next question here. What has been the hardest lesson for you to learn? Uh, I guess I can start
Oof.
answering this one. I feel like the hardest lesson for me to learn was definitely with my years through school, whether it be high school or college, and that was procrastination, not setting my priorities straight, especially in my first few years of college, putting fun before my schoolwork. That was definitely the hardest lesson that I learned in my life. And I feel like if I hadn't been through that situation, I definitely wouldn't be where I am today. Um, Sometimes in life, you just need that wake up call. You need something to really tell you that, like, if you don't get it together, you're really gonna mess yourself up. Um, I don't want to take too long on this question, but like I said, like that was probably one of the hardest lessons that I learned. Definitely put fun before my education. My priorities weren't set straight. Procrastination, wasn't taking school seriously. So that's how it is for
Boy was partying.
right. That was my personal answer for that question.
For me, I feel like the toughest lesson for me to learn was that it does not matter how good or bad you're doing in life, bad things are always going to come in the future. And that sounds really bad to say, but I really had to think for a second and think about that. It like life doesn't care how bad you're doing at the moment, right now. And you could get out of that moment, right? Become very successful, but then you're gonna suffer a different type of pain. Once it's not financial hardship, it's gonna become emotional hardship, and then it's gonna be the next thing. And the world is always going to constantly be throwing rocks at you and trying to break you down, right? And I know it sounds really bad, for lack of a better word, right now, but it's just something we have to stop trying to avoid and just embrace it, embrace how good things are right now and trying to do better. It's like Nipsey Hussle really said, it's a marathon. Life is really a marathon. It never stops. You don't simply accomplish happiness because once you get to my like say the thing making me sad now is that I don't have money. Once I get money, it'll be something else that I don't have enough people to share it with because I don't trust the people around me anymore. And then if I get those people, they'll be, oh wow, now this family member is sick. So tackling that, thinking that there's always going to be something that's going to come, you just have to face it. It just makes it easier for you to face it head on and not dwell on it when it gets here. Remember, you're never going to simply just accomplish that. It's always going to keep going. It's a marathon, right? So take it day by day. That's what I would say.
I think for me, I'm just gonna keep it short. Is the hardest lesson that I had to learn is that not everyone has the same heart as you. Because I'm the type of person that'll go all out for everyone around me, and that's gotten me in a lot of situations that I did not need to be in. So that was the hardest lesson that I had to learn.
I'm gonna kind of bounce off of Juan's. eh, I'm gonna like
Analogy.
kind of like kind of reword it. Like
Please.
you're saying that like kind of there's always something bad to come, or just no matter where you are, you're always gonna get hit with another rock. Like what I had, had a hard time learning, and what probably the best thing I've learned and kind of taught myself was that like you could be like you're gonna keep getting hit by rocks, but that means that you're always gonna get through, and there's gonna be something better on the other side. Like it's always up to you to be stuck in a certain situation or not. You get hit by a rock, you fall down. It's up to you to get back up, but you have to have the positive mindset of like, all right, but if I get back up, like I'm gonna be better than I was before. So again, it's kind of just more so like looking at situations in a different perspective than you would before. Instead of looking at it as like, all right, I'm in a good place now. Like, I just got money, but something's going to come by and I got to be prepared for it. It's more so like looking at it in a more positive way, rewording that and saying, you know, I got hit by a rock, but I'm going to get through this and then I'll be okay. And then I'll be better. Yeah.
I'm not saying, because it sounds really bad, but I'm not saying to have a negative mindset. It's more like saying, just be ready for whatever comes. You know, it's just I have so many examples, but I want to keep it short. But basically, if you're sad about something, to have a positive mindset, get it out the way, don't dwell on it, move on to the next thing. Because a lot of times I catch myself like, man, I can't ever catch a break. Like somebody broke into my car, and then 4 days after that, somebody broke my other window to get into my car once again. So I'm like, yo, I can really catch a break. So, but at the same time, the second time I was not surprised. I was like, all right, this is just how it is. I know I live in this type of neighborhood. It is what it is. So that's more like where I'm going with this, as opposed to, oh, always be ready. Always keep $1,000 in your pocket because you never know when somebody, whatever, in your family's gonna die. It's not a negative thought like that, but more like be ready for when things are coming and keep a positive mindset. So you just don't dwell on it too much. Just deal with it and move on to the next thing. That brings happiness.
All right. So I hope you guys are able to benefit from those first 5 questions that we had and all of our individual answers. So now we're gonna move on to the next question. How would you approach starting up your business in New York? So I'm gonna start off answering this question. Uh, I feel like with starting up your business, it'll be the same no matter where you are. But in New York, you're gonna have a lot of opportunities. I feel New York, and even within the city, there's a lot of opportunities. Like I said, a lot of people to network with, a lot of different entrepreneurs, all different types, and it's a very populated area. So with that being said, if you're going to start your business in New York, start off with networking with as much people as you can. Get to know as much people because there are a lot of opportunities, whether you're in Long Island, whether you're in the city, there's a lot of opportunities out there. So definitely, if you're thinking about starting a business and you're living in New York, definitely start it and take that risk and just never stop. Do you guys want to answer that question as well, or just move on to the next one? You guys have any input on that?
I would say do be proactive. Do things to get your name out there and to surround yourself with other people. Like you go on Facebook and find groups of young entrepreneurs who are new to opening a business, and just different ways of spreading your idea, whether it's through business cards or social media. New York is a really good place to start that. Um, all pandemic aside, but like Josh said, you could do this anywhere you want in the world or anywhere you are right now in the world. But just be proactive, I would say.
Yeah, and just have a solid business plan and build up a good team. Not even if it's strangers, your friends may not be the best choice sometimes. And just be patient. Not everything is going to come all at once.
Adam, you got any input on that one, or?
I never started a business, so not really, but I know like just I because obviously I was with this at the start with Josh and Tanvir. Um, it's you plan your moves, I guess. Have everything set. You don't want to kind of just jump into things. Um, yeah, but in terms of like starting it with New York and everything, that I really don't know. But I know just establish a close circle that could help you out, like me, Josh, Tan, and Juan now. But it's us three, and we all worked hard, and through time um we had to make sure that the people who were surrounding us were ones that were working. And that's really important because you don't want something hanging over your head in terms of having the same goals as yourself.
Okay. Good answers, good answers, good answers. So we're gonna keep this pushing and move on to the next question. What are some of the first steps you would take to start getting paying clients for a service business? I'm gonna start off with that question. Uh, the first steps you can take to getting paying clients for a service business, I would say, is the only advice I can really give from that is just really know who you're trying to target, know your target market, um, just from like a whole marketing perspective. And I'm pretty sure Adam can give more better advice on this, but just try to advertise your service as much as you can. Um, and meanwhile, while you're advertising it, make sure that you show the people that you're targeting, show them why it'll benefit them. compared to competitors or just in general. But just really make sure that you have that specific niche, or however you pronounce it, have that specific target market that you have, and just really try to push towards them, push your message towards them, and just really advertise, advertise, advertise. And word of mouth is probably one of the best ways of advertising that I feel. Um, but yeah, I feel like those are the first steps you can have, you know, a solid business plan, have a solid plan in general, and just push towards it. Just push your message towards the people that you want, and just really try to get your business or your service out there. And if any of you guys want to give any input on that, you can feel free to kick in. And then if not, we just move on to the next question.
I would say you have to start with a product that you believe in yourself. If you don't believe in it, and don't expect somebody else to believe in your vision, right? I had a friend who came to me for advice who was opening a clothing brand at one point, and his idea was basically to make baseball hats and shirts and sell them for $25. I'm like, bro, that's not. For example, to give him an extreme example, I was like, that's not how Gucci operates. You know, by you selling a $25 hat, all you're gonna do is go into this crowded market where everybody's selling a $25 hat, and you don't differentiate. So believe in the product that you're making, believe in the product that you're trying to sell to others. You know, make it. It has to be good. It's not just about pricing. After the product you believe is good quality and whatnot, then you could charge a little extra, make a $50 hat, and people are gonna wonder, why is that hat $50? Well, it's because of this. It's the mental work and the hands-on work that goes into it. To keep it short.
Yeah, I mean, I've never worked in like a service business. I guess besides this, but you know, I'd say what Josh said. You know, have your target market. And like what Juan said, you wanna know what you're doing. You wanna, like, you know, be knowledgeable about what you're doing. Like for Josh's computer business, he can't people are going to go to another business if they think that they know more, and that's everything with the service business, whether you do construction. I know, like, I've met someone in school who like washes cars, and he's doing good doing that. He has his own business, and you have to do it better than other people, because again, it's a service business, so your work directly shows on the product. In terms of product businesses, though, in retail, I work in sales too, and it's like, if you want to keep a customer, if you want to keep a client, be genuine with them. No one wants to deal with a salesman who they could tell is trying to sell them on something. They're never going to come back to you, especially if it's an important client who's going to buy thousands and thousands of dollars worth of merchandise. Be genuine and know what you're talking about, because when you're lying, people can tell. So in terms of retaining clients, I'd say, you know, being truthful, knowing what you're talking about, those are two of the most important things.
And I would say try to perfect your craft. There's a reason why certain barbers charge more than others. You know, like if I know I'm gonna make you look like a 10, quote unquote, make you look like a 10, I'm gonna charge you 40 because I know what I'm doing for you for the next hour, as opposed to the barber who's down the corner who's gonna charge you 20. You know, so perfect your craft so then you could brag about it and say, this is what I have to offer.
Tan, you want to give any input on that one, or you want to wait till the next question? All right, so we'll move on to the next question.